Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is another movie review. I'm going to be doing a couple movie reviews. Just got back from the movies. Just saw a double feature of two movies, Call of the Wild and The Invisible Man. First I'm going to do Call of the Wild because I wanted to get that one out of the way. Uh, the first thing you should probably know about Call of the Wild is that it's... most people are going to be going into this thinking that Harrison Ford is going to be the front runner to this movie and he's going to be the big star of the movie. And you know what? To be fairly honest with you, no. Actually, the movie actually starts out in a way I didn't expect it to start out. I thought we were going to get a lot more Harrison Ford. And to be fairly honest with you all, Harrison Ford doesn't show up until mostly towards the middle of the second act. Like, not the middle of the second act, but towards the end of the second act of the film. And he really doesn't have too much to do with the movie, in all seriousness. Like, this is actually a movie about, yes, the CGI dog. This is a movie all about the CGI dog named Buck. Buck is a dog who belonged to a rich family, gets taken away, gets sold as a sled dog in Alaska, or around that area, and he then begins to become his own master in his own sense, which is kind of an interesting story, and I found it to be a very actually enjoyable time. Enjoyable is probably the level I'll go, enjoyable. This is a very enjoyable movie. I don't think it's absolutely it's not something you're going to need to rush out and see. I do think that if you're going to check it out, I said on my Facebook page, you know, it's a Blu-ray buy for me personally. I think it's an enjoyable time. Yes, and yes, the dog looks bad. It's a bad-looking CGI dog. Sometimes. Most of the time, actually. Most of the time it looks bad. Sometimes, when it's actually, like, close up, it doesn't look that bad. It's kind of disappointing and odd, though, how bad the visual effects for this movie are. Not like the landscapes and stuff. Landscapes are fucking beautiful. But the dog itself does take me out of it in some ways, though I'm almost forgiving of it because the dog is so enjoyable to watch. If the dog wasn't a joyride to watch, I don't think I would have enjoyed this movie as much as I did. Having said that, I do have problems with the movie. It's very, the movie itself, it has a lot of slow moments, and sometimes I don't mind slow moments, but for me, with this movie and how already the dog was CGI, it kind of took me out of it, and it kind of bored me at points because I couldn't really be invested in a dog that wasn't really a dog that was there. If it was a real dog, I think it would have helped out their movie quite a bit. Though I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I think the movie itself is an enjoyable time, and I do think Harrison Ford is very good in this movie. He is great in this movie. Harrison Ford is awesome. The dog itself is a good character. I just think it would have benefited the guys if they added a real dog, because I'm gonna tell you what, most of this movie is all about the dog. The dog is in this movie nonstop. There's not really a scene without the dog. He is in this movie. He is the star of this movie. Buck is the star of this movie. And there are some things that the dog does in the movie that I already knew. I know physically a dog probably could not do what a dog does in this movie. There's a scene with a log. There's a scene with a bear. And on some hands, yeah, it's cool. Like, oh, yeah, that's neat. You know, a dog's doing that. But the reality of the fact of the matter is that a dog would not be able to do a lot of the physical stuff that this dog is doing. And it took me out of it a little bit, though I gave it leeway because, as I said, the movie overall was actually a feel-good movie. I think the villain was a very cookie-cutter villain. He was very typical, rich, you know, almost to the point he was making the stupidest decisions. This villain was. And I could not believe what this guy was doing. I wanted to punch him the whole time, which maybe, you know, beneficial. The movie might have actually worked on that point because I think they're gonna want you to punch this guy. But on the other hand, I was just so fed up with looking at this guy and the ending was a bit predictable. I kind of knew what was going to happen. You know, it does punch in the gut. It has feelings. This movie has heart. It has heart, which is something, you know, it's very good. It has heart. But I think the best word I can describe Call of the Wild is an enjoyable time. Enjoyable family movie. I think families are going to enjoy this movie. I really do. This is a very, very important movie. It does focus a lot on animal cruelty, animal abuse, because there's some people in this movie who are just the pieces of shit. And you want to punch them in the face. But I'm going to give Call of the Wild 7.2 out of 10. I feel like that's a fair grade for this movie. I don't think you need to rush out to the movies and see this. I do think, though, if you're curious to under buy it on Blu-ray to me is under go to the movies, but because you got to if you want to support the movie, go to the movies. If you really want to see it, obviously go to the movies. I don't think you're gonna regret seeing this movie in the movie theaters, but I'd almost actually recommend wait until Netflix or wait until a streaming service or anything like Hulu or something for this movie, because I think you might enjoy it a lot more if you actually check it out in your living room. But guys, that is it. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Have you seen the movie? What would you grade the movie out of 10 down below? Guys, as always, I appreciate you watching, and my next review will be coming out. It's The Invisible Man. Take care, guys. See you in the next video.